Okay, Jennifer, how you doing? I got your work up, yes, and here we are. Okay, so I think that you've got some really interesting things on. This is a super interesting shot. I think I got some really interesting visual aspects going on with your narrative, with your final project. Each of the shots it's handled pretty well. I love the soft focus on the background. I like what you're doing with your depth of field, and for the most part, your exposures are are done very well. You're really showing a good understanding of how to use light through your photography. So that's fantastic. Just a couple of issues technical that I want to mention when we get to that point. But right now, just kind of want to talk about the narrative a little bit. I think the main thing I'm seeing is that the narrative is a little bit lacking. In other words, right now I see a series of floral shots, but I don't really see a story being told. Do you see what I'm saying? So in other words, there's nothing visually holding these together to the point where it's really supporting a solid narrative. What is the story, so to speak? And I think one of the things that causes the confusion there is the fact that this piece here is it shot through glass, because I can see a reflection right here, or some sort of a reflection. So I'm not real sure how that is. It's a neat shot, and I think that some of the distressed areas in the background are really cool. And adding color to the focal point I think was a good idea, but you've only done that in one other image, so we kind of lose that. If that's the beginning of a narrative, it's kind of there and then gone. As this piece is not shot through glass, it doesn't have any of the same distressed attributes of the background, and it's in full color. So whatever kind of little narrative that was be setting up here was kind of lost in the second image. Now the second and third image, I think, are again, technical merits are done well. The fourth image is very blurred, out of focus. The focal point. It looks like your focal point right here. These are in focus, so you've missed the focus on that one a little bit. This one, in terms of technical merits of the images, I think that, like, again, black and white, this is a fascinating image. I think this is by far the strongest image of the series. One of the things I would recommend is a lot of students want to put black backgrounds or black borders on their images, and I think it's a natural tendency to do so because it really brings out the dramatic nature of the image. However, I would recommend using a white or a very light gray, something very neutral, because right now this is adding meaning. It's adding a darkness to the images. It's adding, and subsequently is adding meaning. So as we think of the sinister or dark nature of the color black, we get all those little nuances and meaning, those encoded meanings with the black backgrounds. So I would recommend using white or, again, very neutral gray. As I said, exposure is looking good. This, again, out of focus. And then this image right here is problematic because you've got complete white over here. And you got some areas that are paper white, meaning this is overexposed. There's just too much light being allowed into the camera. Whether that be your shutter speed or your aperture, one or the other, or a combination of both, is just allowing too much light into that composition. And again, it's another very interesting shot. I love the selective focus on the background. I really think that you've done a good job on that, all of your images, with this one being the exception, because this one, the foreground's blurred while the background's in focus. The rest of them, the foreground is a really nice focus, and the background has a beautiful soft blur. Very soft focus. I love it. Very good job. All right. So again, a couple of technical attributes I think that are a little bit lacking. Nothing major. I mean, you're showing your knowledge of the camera. That's good. And I think that the one thing that I'm seeing is it's just a little bit lacking in the actual storytelling characteristics associated with this series of images. All right. Good job. If you have any questions, comments, or other, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. Okay. Good job. Thanks.